These are the 4 things that I did that completely transformed and changed my life in just 90 days. I hit a point where I wanted to give up on my business. I wasn't making enough money to sustain myself. I was really struggling with relationships. I was really struggling with myself. I was depressed and I just felt like there was no way out anymore. And so these are the things I'm going to share with you that truly changed everything, because within 90 days, I got an influx of clients in. I finally felt joy and happiness again. My relationships really improved and I just felt like a complete new and different person. I don't want to hold back on what I did. The stuff that I'm about to share with you, what's really important is that you do it and you stay consistent with doing the work. I didn't get here by showing up whenever I felt like it. I got here because I showed up no matter what. I showed up when it was hard. I showed up when I didn't feel like it. I showed up when other people didn't show up. This is what the message of this video is here before I actually get into the things that I did. The first thing, and you might not want to hear this, and a lot of people usually don't want to hear this. You see myself there. A lot of people actually don't want to hear this, is I started taking responsibility for my life. How often do we fall into, my business is not working because people are not buying my products. My business is not working because of the environment. I don't meet men because they're all unavailable and stupid and no one likes me. I have trauma because my mother treated me this way. And when we live life like this, and this is not to justify that whatever happened to you was correct, but when we live life like this, what happens? We become a victim to the world outside of us. We allow things outside of us take over us and our life and the life that we actually want to create. We are giving our power away and we are waiting for things outside of us to be a certain way so that we can finally live the life that we desire, so that we can finally be the person that we desire. And when we do this, our life is not going to change. We are going to be waiting and hoping. We're going to give literally our power away to external things, to people, to situations. And I can guarantee you that's not how your life is going to change. So what I did is I took radical responsibility. I looked at my life and I asked myself, where am I playing the victim? Where am I blaming my results in my business, in my life, on things outside of myself? Where do I have to take accountability? Where am I blaming my mother for the person that I am today? Where am I not healing? Where am I not putting the conscious effort into changing the situation? And also the other thing is, you could still want to change the situation, but there is an underlying feeling of, it's still not me, it's them. It's still not me, it's that. So yes to changing the situation, but when you take radical responsibility, that is when you will start to see things change in your life. And when you take your results personally, in terms of, I don't have this because of myself, that's also when your life is going to change. So take things personal in a, not in a harsh way, but in a, if you really want to change your life, you will have to do this. And once you do, you will start to see how things will change because you see them differently. And when you take full responsibility, so will you take full responsibility for your actions, and so will your life change as well. The other thing that I did, the second thing that I did, is I actually truly put myself first. I decided to put the focus 100% on myself. During this time, as I was building myself up again, I really consciously spent time with myself and myself only, without other people, without distractions, without a phone, just being with myself and deciding that if I wanted to change my life, if I wanted a different life, I needed to be with myself and get to know myself and heal the parts of myself that I haven't healed and become really, really good at what I do. And I could only do that if I was by myself. That is the other thing. So many people live life on autopilot. So many people live life based on other people's expectations, on society's expectations, and they don't really know themselves well. They don't actually know who they are and what they want. And so this was a time where I also felt the same. I felt really lost and very confused about actually the life that I wanted to live and the money that I wanted to make, the success that I wanted to have, the relationships that I wanted to have. Because I, at some point, realized that I was living life based on what I think I should have, what I think how I should be living my life based on other external factors. When I started spending time with myself and focus on myself, that's when I actually learned to get to know myself. And I understood that there are parts of myself that I have been hiding, or parts of myself that I haven't been showing to the world because I believed they were wrong, or I believed they were invaluable. But these were actually the parts that made me unique and special. This is the next thing for you, is to realize, are you spending time with yourself? Are you consciously putting the time away to focus solely on yourself? And this is where you also bringing it back to the radical responsibility, where you become really aware of your actions and your thoughts and the things that you're thinking every day. Because you could want to change your life, but if every day you're doubting yourself, if every day you don't trust yourself, if every day you have super negative thoughts, it's going to be really, really hard for you to change your life, because these thoughts are going to create a feeling in your body, and that feeling is going to take over your energy and over your day. And so it's going to be really hard for you to actually take the aligned actions. Here, you got to bring it back to yourself and spend the time with yourself and put yourself first above everything else. The other thing that I did is I had to become very honest in terms of where am I spending my money. I started, and this is something I've done for many years already before that, I became even more conscious of where am I spending my money. And what I mean with that is, am I spending my money on external things, for external things to give me short-term satisfaction, short-term happiness, or am I spending the money on myself and investing in myself to be a better version of myself? Again, this is a mindset that I've held for a very, very long time in my life. So this part wasn't that hard for me to do, but at the same time, I still had to take inventory. I still had to realize, well, what am I actually doing with this energy exchange? I see money as energy exchange, right? So you're putting money into something and you're receiving something. So I had to ask myself, what am I putting my money into and what am I receiving from that? So instead of putting my money into another dinner or another this and that, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I could also be spending that money on another self-development course, on another book that might change my life, on things that I get the energy back that right now I need to become a better person. And so many people are so scared to do that. It's so easy to spend money on short-term satisfaction, but it's so hard to actually spend the money on yourself. Why is that the case? Because we have not learned how to bet on ourselves. We have not learned how to trust ourselves that when we make this investment, it's actually worth it. If you don't feel worthy enough of investing in yourself, you will never invest in yourself. So you got to bring it back to yourself and ask yourself, am I worth it to invest this money in myself? Am I worth it to become better? Am I worth it to spend $3,000 on a self-development course, as an example, instead of on a vacation, right? And so these are small things that really can make a big difference in realizing also, where are you holding yourself back in investing in yourself, because maybe you don't trust yourself, because maybe you don't believe in yourself, maybe you've been burned in the past and you've had experiences that didn't go maybe the best way. That's where you also have to ask yourself, was it me? Was it them? Taking accountability and responsibility one more time, and also understanding that, you know, you can move on in life, and the decisions that you make today have nothing to do with the decisions that you made yesterday. Just because something did not work out in the past doesn't mean it's not going to work out today. And the last thing that I did, that I think from all of the things was actually the most important one, is I focused on my self-image and the person that I truly deeply believed I was. I realized that while I was having the success before this dip in my life and my business, I would tie my self-worth to my success. So I would believe that the more successful I was, the more worthy I was. The more money I made, the more worthy I was. And I realized this was actually a part of my self-image that was formed throughout my life as I was growing up. The better grades I got, the more love I got and affection I got. And so I very early on created this belief that the more I did, the more successful, the more this, the more money, whatever, the better person I am. And when I had this dip in my business, and when I wasn't making the money that I was making anymore, and things weren't going the way that I wanted them to go, that really struck with me, and it really shifted my belief in myself and my worthiness in myself. And so I had to look at the image I was holding of myself, and I had to really work on believing in myself and feeling worthy despite anything happening outside of myself, despite all of the achievements that I was creating. And so once I did that, that's when I became so solid in myself, and I detached myself from the things outside of myself. I focused on me, and I brought back the energy to being my best version of myself, no matter the results, no matter the outside circumstances. And when I did, I became so solid in myself and the belief in myself. I created this solid foundation that when I did work on my dreams and goals, it accelerated, the success accelerated, because I didn't need need it in order for me to prove myself. I didn't need it to feel worthy. And that's when things truly, truly clicked for me. That's why I truly believe in order for you to become successful or to have the life that you desire, you got to do exactly that. You got to bring it back to yourself and create an image of yourself in your mind that is unstoppable. And once you do that and you detach yourself from the things outside of you, that's when your life is truly going to change, and not just on a surface level, but you're gonna get all of the things that you desire, because there's nothing that's gonna shake you. Anything that happens outside of you will have no control over your well-being. Now, this takes time, obviously. It's not gonna happen from one day to the other, but this was honestly the biggest piece. And this is something that I will be teaching in my free masterclass coming up. It's called Courageously Stepping into Your Dream Self, where we will be doing this type of work, where you're going to realize what your image is and how to really build a solid foundation within yourself. So if you want to join, the link is down below. I would love to see you there. If you like this video and you resonated with some of these points, please let me know down below. I would really love to hear from you. If you like this type of content, please subscribe to my channel as well. It would mean the world to me. Sending you so much love, and until the next time, bye bye.